Our devotional thought today from Proverbs is simply this thought: God's wisdom is very different from the world's wisdom. Many times I speak with professionals, I speak with business people, and I understand that there is a wisdom of this world that they operate in. Just like when I was a kid, I understood that there's a wisdom that we grew up with on the street called street smarts. And kids who grew up in the suburbs, they didn't have street smarts. But when you grew up where I grew up, you grew up knowing how to live on a street. There's a wisdom that you grew up with. In business, there's a wisdom, but it's not always good wisdom. I want you to notice the difference between the wisdom of the world and the wisdom of God. In Proverbs 8, verses 7 to 9, this is wisdom speaking. Wisdom says, "For I speak the truth." There's never any lies in wisdom. "And detest every kind of deception." There is no deception in God's wisdom. "My advice is wholesome. There is nothing devious or crooked in it. My words are plain to anyone with understanding, clear to those with knowledge." Now that's what the wisdom of God is like. It's truth. It detests every kind of deception. It's wholesome, and there's nothing devious or crooked about it. It's plain, clear for everyone to understand. But the world's wisdom is a little different. Let me read you what James says. James 3, beginning with verse 13. "If you are wise and understand God's ways, prove it by living an honorable life, doing good works with humility that comes from wisdom. But if you are bitterly jealous and there's selfish ambition in your heart, don't cover up the truth with boasting and lying. For jealousy and selfishness are not God's kind of wisdom. Such things are earthly, unspiritual, and demonic. For wherever there is jealousy and selfish ambition, you will find disorder of every evil kind. But the wisdom from above is first of all pure. It is also peace-loving, gentle at all times, willing to yield to others. It is full of mercy and the fruit of good deeds. It shows no favoritism and is always sincere. And those who are peacemakers will plant seeds of peace and reap a harvest of righteousness." Beloved, if you're listening to me right now and you're a businessman, you're a businesswoman, remember, God's wisdom is very different than the world's wisdom.